Welcome to another Rolled in Reacts episode. This customer said that they typically do all their own work, but had to come in because they needed a tire rotation. Customer states, hit a piece of wood on the highway. Customer states, I think there's something wrong with my tire. Can you check it out? This customer came in saying, yeah, I don't think I need new brake pads, but I have a brake noise, so please check and advise. Customer states, feels like something's wrong with the suspension, please advise. Customer states, installed a new battery, but car still won't start sometimes, please advise. Customer states, was driving home from work and suddenly had no brakes. And the owner of this car had built their very own catalytic converter anti-theft system. Nah, she good. This car came in after the owner complained about a tire leak. And this car came in because it didn't have any heating after the customer had tried fixing the heating core by themselves. This customer had done some work on their drive shaft all by themselves. This BMW came in on a tow truck because of a leak after the owner heard a boink sound when driving back home from work. This car rolled in because the owner complained about a loud whining noise from the back. And this customer had touched up and painted the rims all by themselves. This customer had an oil leak and decided to fix it themselves, but had to come in again because the fix didn't last that long. And this customer had lost his only set of car keys, so he improvised a bit. And this customer said that they hit a pothole and that their car is not the same ever since. And this car came in with a pretty dangerous leak. Customer states, strange noises when turning. And this Infiniti QX60 came in with some starting issues after getting a new battery installed at a different shop. This Jeep came in because the four-wheel drive had stopped working after the customer had done some off-roading together with their buddies. This customer had their friend fix their brakes for them, but now they don't have any brakes at all. This car came in with a pretty decent leak. This customer had done some wheel and suspension work by themselves, but had to come in because of a pretty loud clunking noise when going over bumps. This customer came in and said, my tire keeps leaking all the time, can you fix it? And I don't think this is what they mean when they say finger tight. And this car came in after the owner had hit a pothole going a bit too fast. And this car's windshield was apparently held on by Vaseline. And the owner of this car came in complaining about it feeling slower than normal. This customer had tried going off-road with their car, but had to come in because they now have a little bit of a suspension problem. Yummy yum. I know what's wrong with it. And when your transfer case fluid looks like this, you probably had some fun. Customer states, weird noises when driving over speed bumps. This truck came in for a quick oil change when the mechanic discovered that the customer had installed their own underglow kit all by themselves. Customer states, I keep hearing a prize wheel sound when driving slow. This car came in with a very interesting coolant leak. Customer states, my car keeps going woo! And this customer states, installed new calipers, but now brake pedal goes to the floor. This customer came in because they said that their car has started to sound a bit strange. And these cat thieves must have been in quite a rush because they ended up stealing a muffler instead of a cat. Customer states, had car in for coolant repair at another shop, but my car still leaks coolant. And hopefully you've got some good insurance if you ever encounter one of these in the wild. Customer states, my car jerks around a bit during idle. Is that normal? This customer came in saying that their car wiggles a lot when driving on the highway. This customer had their father-in-law install a new water pump for them, but had to come in 3 days later because of a leak. This mechanic was doing a wiring job on this car, but when he went to remove the floor mats, he found this. Yummy. And this customer came in all proud and said, I do all my own engine work, but the car has a minor starting issue and he wants the mechanics to take a look at it. Customer states, small tire leak, please advise. And this car came in like this after the owner had done some work on it all by themselves. This customer rolled in saying that for the past few months they've had a pretty bad vibration when driving. And this car had a fuel leak after the customer had tried replacing some hoses by themselves. This 2009 Chevy Silverado came in because it almost turns itself off every time the owner shuts the car door. The mechanic found some bad connections and corrosion in the fuse box to be the issue. This car came in with quite the list of issues. And this truck came in with some brake issues after the owner had been on a trip to the mountains. And this customer had done his own oil change every single year, but had to come in because of a knocking sound. Alright, she's good, get her out of here. Customer states, I hear a clunking noise. And this customer came in after their friend had timed their engine for them. And this customer came in complaining about a rattling sound after having been at another shop. And this Kia Sorento came in with a pretty decent oil leak. The mechanic found it to be caused by a leak in oil pressure sensor. This customer wanted a sunroof on their car, so they installed it in their own little creative way. This customer came in complaining about strange noises coming from their wheels. And this customer came in because they had a strange noise at all speeds after a gear oil change at another shop. The mechanic discovered that the power transfer unit had exploded, which had caused the mounting gear on the transmission case to snap off. Correct. Customer states, heard a loud pop when driving home from work. And this customer keeps coming back to the shop all the time, but never gives his last name. What's your best guess? This BMW X3 came in with a handful of problems, to say the least. This customer came in saying that their brakes worked fine up until this morning, but then they started having horrible grinding noises. And this customer drove in for an oil change, but the mechanic discovered that they needed a little bit more work than just that. And this car has definitely seen some action. And this customer came in complaining about lots of steering wheel vibration. This car came in with a leaking head gasket after the owner had tried replacing it all by themselves. And this customer came back into the shop after having said, "My nephew will fix it, he's a great electrician." And this customer had DIY'd their very own gear shifter. If it works, it works. Customer states, "I don't see nothing wrong with it, do you?" And this customer had done a little bit of swimming with their car. And this customer came in saying that their car keeps peeing itself. This Suzuki came in for an oil change, and when the mechanic had it on the lift, he noticed that the customer had welded on some lifting points all by himself. And this customer came in for a pre-purchase inspection of this car. Once the technician had it on the lift, he discovered that the entire underside was covered in white paint. And this customer came in saying that they've started hearing a clunking sound when driving after their friend had borrowed their car for a week. And this mechanic was just trying to do a wiring job. The owner of this car had swapped their own tires, but had to come into the shop to get it fixed. Customer states, every time I turn, there's a party in my dash. Customer states, I think I ran into a porcupine. Customer states, poor acceleration, please advise. This car came in because the owner complained about a loud noise. This customer came in saying that every time I hit the brakes really hard, the fuel level drops. After further inspection, the mechanic found that someone had drilled a hole in the fuel tank at such an angle that the car was losing quite a lot of fuel during hard braking. And this car hadn't had an oil change in 45,000 miles. This car had a bit of a leaking problem. Customer states, I hit like a small rock or something on a dirt road, and now my traction light is on all the time. Customer states, I don't know what happened, but my car now leaks water. And this car had some issues with its AC pump. This car came in because the owner complained about a ticking noise. And this Lexus drove in with some differential issues. The mechanic drained the differential of oil and found it had a lot of metal shavings in it. This customer came in saying that their engine makes a rattling sound after another shop had looked at it. And the owner of this car came in saying that they had problems with their brakes and wanted it looked at. And this car came in because it had started to sound weird. The mechanic noticed that the customer hadn't done an oil change since new, and this is what he found. The owner of this car had hit a hole in the road doing 50 miles an hour. The owner of this car came in saying that they think their steering wheel wobbles way too much. This car came in because the customer complained about a shaking wheel after their friend had done some suspension work on their car. And this 1996 Ford F-150 apparently had more than just one owner. This 2014 Ram 2500 came in because the customer complained about a clunking noise. Turns out it was because of a cracked transmission bell housing. Customer states, hit a pothole, but I wasn't even going that fast. Customer states, my car sounds like a machine gun. Turns out they had a pretty clogged up exhaust. And this car came in with a bit of a leak. This customer came in complaining about a bad smell in the cab. And this customer had hit a curb going a bit too fast. Looks good. And this customer had done a bit of work on their differential, but had to come in because they had an oil leak and a lot of whining noise. And this customer had decided to save some money and did the brakes all by themselves. That looks a bit too cold. This car needed a healthier diet, said the owner, so he had topped it off with orange juice instead of engine oil. Customer states, engine sounds louder than normal, please advise. And this car had some issues with its power steering after the owner's friend had done some work on it. And apparently this car had more than just one owner. And this car came in after the customer had done some suspension work by themselves. And apparently this wheel weight had gotten stuck on the brake caliper after the owner had done some brake work together with their father. This 2017 Nissan Frontier came in because the owner says it has started sounding like a tractor. Customer states, car sounds like an old truck, please check and advise. And this customer came in saying that they think they need new brakes. Customer states, my truck keeps launching air biscuits, can you check it out? Turns out it just needed a new gas cap. The owner of this minivan came in because they had opened the door a bit too roughly. This car got towed in because it had starting issues after the owner had replaced the battery all by themselves. And this customer came in complaining about a grinding noise. This car came in after the owner had tried replacing the brake pads by themselves. And hopefully this mechanic has some really thick gloves prepared for this oil change. And this engine didn't want to start after it and the owner had taken a little swim. Customer states, car makes a lot of noise and runs poorly. The mechanic found there to be very little oil on the dipstick, a lot of valve train noise, and pretty much no oil left in the engine. And this Toyota Tacoma came in to get their washer fluid hoses and tank replaced, but had to come in a week later because a mouse had chewed up the hoses. Customer states, I can't tell how much gas I got left. This customer came in because they had a brake issue but had no idea it was this bad. The customer later ended up agreeing to having new brakes installed, and thank God for that. And this cat had a little bit more than just one problem. This customer came in saying that their car has started to tick a lot lately. The mechanic found there to be almost no oil on the dipstick. This Toyota Avalon came in for a post-purchase inspection, and this is what the mechanic found. Customer states, engine won't turn over, please advise. The mechanic found that the engine had enough oil in it, but discovered that cylinder 2 had blown up and that coolant had leaked into the engine. This Ford F-150 came in because it wouldn't start after having been parked away for a few months. Apparently, someone had made the truck into its new home and also snacked on some of the wires and hoses. This customer came in complaining about a loud banging noise from their engine. And this customer came in because they hear a rattling sound after having had their car parked in a barn for a few weeks. Customer states, car sounds like an old boat, please advise. This customer came in saying that their car had starting issues and that they couldn't tell how much gas they had left in the tank. This Mazda 6 came in with a seized engine just 3 days after the owner had changed the oil by himself. Customer states, did my own oil change, but now my oil gauge keeps getting all excited. This 2010 Jeep SRT came in because they kept overheating. The technician drained the car of coolant and discovered that the issue was a worn out water pump. Customer states, car wobbles at higher speeds, please advise.
It ain't got no gas in it.
Customer states, starting issues. New bearings? Nah. And the owner of this car rolled in because they said that their car has been bumpier than normal during the past few months. And this car came in with quite the list of issues. Customer states, my brakes are super squeaky, please advise. And this customer just wanted an alignment. Customer states, was driving on the highway when one of my wheels started driving faster than the other ones. This vehicle came in because the owner heard a pop while driving on the highway. Customer states, car sounds like it's blending rocks. Can you check it out? The owner of this car had installed their own tires, but it came in because the car now has a pretty bad vibration. The technician discovered the issue to be caused by all 4 tires not being seated on the rims properly. And this customer had apparently done their very own DIY exhaust repair. That's probably alright. The owner of this car came in complaining about a sudden loss of power when driving on the highway. And this customer drove their car almost completely without oil, and this is what happened to the oil filter. And this customer was driving home from work when they heard a loud bang from underneath their car. This car was in for an oil change when the mechanic noticed the state of the tires. When told about it, the customer apparently just replied, "What do you mean? I already fixed them myself." Customer states, whining noises from engine and car has trouble starting lately. This car came in looking like this after the customer's friend had towed it behind them while still in second gear. Choo choo! If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, and until next time.